Welcome to my happy place. Here is where I find inspiration in art, design, culture, cuisine, fashion, and the lifestyle of my favorite collaborators. Join me to see what's new in the ever-transforming world of creatives. I'd like to welcome the viewers and our lovely artist, Miss Angeline Cesar with Angeline Cesar Studios, to our platform on the go. It's a show that we're doing, a conversation with the artists. So welcome to our show, Angeline.
Thank you very much, Sogol, for having me, and Murdock. I'm thrilled and honored and excited to do my exhibition here, Changing Tides. And looking forward to talking to you both about it a little bit.
Yes, thank you for giving us this opportunity.
We're
Murdock.
very excited to have you as our first exhibition launch post-COVID here at Platform.
And I know, finally.
I think it's a really exciting moment for all of us in the art world and in the larger world. So we just want to have a conversation with you to see if we can learn a little bit more about your process, your inspirations, and your personal influences. So one of the first questions I have is, knowing your background as a model in the earlier years, I would like to ask you if you would discuss how you came to be behind the camera after so many years of working in front of it, and also maybe you could touch upon whether your experience working as a model affected how you work as a photographer as well.
That's a very good question. I get this asked a lot. I always had a camera in my hand. Because my dream when I left Zimbabwe was to travel around the world, explore, and learn about different cultures. So I always had the camera, and it was mainly about people. But also as a model, you're constantly surrounded by designers, fashion photographers, hairstylists, stylists, directors for commercials, for short films. So you're always with all these incredible creative people. And so I loved having the camera, because then I was more into capturing people. Mm-hmm. And it was so interesting. And so to be in that creative process for so long, I think you're also learning, because it's inspirational, right?
Absolutely.
And it's a very special world. And sometimes I was a muse for a fashion designer and a couture show. But now I have a muse. And it's the ocean.
It's the ocean.
And that's a great muse to have, because the ocean is also very exciting and dangerous and wild and, massive contradictions. It's calm too, and zen, and beautiful. So, I got my muse.
So you had you started off as a model, and but what influenced you to become an artist now? Who are your influence? I know your lovely husband, Claudio.
Yeah, Claudio was
had
a
big
huge influence. But just go back a little bit. I was quite interested in women photographers like Lee Miller. Do you know who Lee Miller is?
I don't.
She was the muse of Man Ray.
Okay.
And she was beautiful. But then she decided to become a photojournalist and an artist. And when I read about her, I thought, that's what I want. That's, that was in my mind. And so she was like the first woman I thought, wow. She's got a photo, very famous, of her sitting in Hitler's bath tub. I don't know if you've ever seen it.
I have seen it, actually, yes.
So that was like the early things where you're thinking, wow, that would be neat. But Claudio definitely was the strongest influence, because he was an art collector, and he collected photography, Cindy Sherman, Nan Golden, Shireen Ashad, a lot of European photographers. We always went to the museums. Every city was unpacked, off to the museum, lunch. And so, he really taught me how to look at art, how to look at a Cy Tomley. He got me into...
Showed you all the details.
Exactly.
To look into,
perspectives and the colors. And so when I started doing my first show, he said, you've got the eye and you can do this.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Yeah.
That's great.
Nice to find a mentor.
I know, a mentor and a husband and a chef.
Everybody needs a mentor.
I put on 10 pounds for this one.
House mentor.
But we were in Los Angeles, and we had a bit of a rough time. We actually had a lovely art salon, printing salon, but anyway, cut a long story short, we moved to the beach, Venice Beach. And I started going out. We were 5 steps from the beach, and I'd go out every dawn and take photos. And he'd look at them, and he'd say, great, post them. And so I just started posting them. But also in Venice Beach, we were very much in the art community.
Mm-hmm.
So we got to know all the Los Angeles artists, all the Venice Beach artists, and I loved all their work. And a lot of their work as well was about the ocean.
Beautiful.
Also minimalist, abstract, but all different sculpture. So I got to know all these amazing artists.
Very nice.
And I still adore them and their work. They were a big influence. So, and they looked like they were having so much fun, and I thought, I want to have fun like that, you know? So I had my first show in Los Angeles in 2011, I think, or 2013. It was 40 pieces, and it was called the Venice Surf Series.
Mm-hmm.
So that was
The start
just
of the
so
ocean.
exciting.
Yeah.
Especially because I was supported by all the artists of Venice Beach, and even celebrities like Jacqueline Bisset came, and Ed Moses, who's a very famous artist in LA. So I was like, this is it. The second show in Venice I did in Bergamont Station.
Mm-hmm.
It's really a beautiful place in LA. You must have been there.
Yes, I have been. Yeah.
And lots of galleries, and it was a group show with Diane Arbus and Helman Newton, who I both also love.
You were an excellent
Nice.
Exactly, because you know these were artists that I liked as well. So I couldn't believe it.
Right.
Group show, second show.
Fantastic.
And nice to be a part of a great supportive community of artists. I think that it sort of helps foster your craft when you have others with whom you can have dialogue about your work.
Well, Los Angeles was
The perfect spot.
It's just perfect for art and artists, and it was different to New York, where in Los Angeles you have to drive an hour and a half to go to a gallery sometimes. So they'd have music, they'd have food, they'd have all the artists would get together, and it was a real community.
Plus, your muse was the ocean, so you were in the perfect spot too.
Exactly. But it's funny because the oceans are very different.
Mm-hmm.
In LA, it's cool colors, it's
Yes.
more ice blue and ice pink and a very light peach. And here, what I love so much is so much more color and
Yes.
so much more happening.
It's deeper.
It's
Yeah.
deep, and it's a more exciting ocean for me, and it's warmer.
Right.
More
Try
exotic.
shooting in January.
More exotic too.
Try shooting in January in Venice Beach.
Yes.
You're just running home and you're freezing. And
Easier to dip your toes in here.
yeah, it's lovely to swim here.
And also different quality
Yeah.
of light in all the locations,
Yeah.
which is so interesting.
Yeah,
All the
it's two
ocean.
very different.
The sky is different.
yeah.
Everything. Yeah.
Exactly. So you have a little. I think. Oh, both have a bit of smog, don't they?
Mm-hmm.
But I think. This is more exciting for me. This whole setup here, also with big clouds. It's more tropical.
Plus, it's a change. You know, you already had that, so now you're
But I'm more in
experiencing
my
something
element
new.
here.
Yeah.
I mean, even though I loved LA and I thought I was definitely going to be an LA artist,
Really.
now I realize I'm going to become an American artist.
Well,
You're
that's
the world
interesting,
artist.
the journey, right?
Yes, of
but
course.
it's nice to have experienced that.
And how, as an artist, you can continue to be inspired by a change in geography or a change in location, change in energy.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely looking forward to going to maybe Namibia, which is a desert with the ocean, which I thought would be a great series.
Mm-hmm.
To have, desert with the ocean, and also maybe a little bit of a message saying we have to protect our oceans.
That's
because
very true.
otherwise we're not gonna
It's
keep
an
going.
interesting juxtaposition because you've got sort of this tension between the meeting of the land and sea and the sort of austerity that the desert provides.
Yeah.
I think it's a very interesting perspective for you to take on.
Yeah, so that is one of my things on my list.
I was wondering about other external influences, because I think artists are influenced by so many different parts of life.
Yeah.
Some by music, some by literature, by poetry. I feel that in some way all the arts are inextricably connected.
They're all the same, yeah.
But talk to us a little bit about your personal influences in the other fields of art.
Well, I was raised on a farm in the middle of nowhere, in the bush, with a lot of wild animals and snakes and swimming with the crocodiles and the hippos and there's elephants and
what a boring
cheetahs.
life you had, huh?
And so you can
Very
imagine.
pedestrian.
Yeah, too pedestrian for us.
It's not your everyday, let's go to school. No, it was, in the bush, and it was kind of, again, a little dangerous, but beautiful. And they say Zimbabwe is one of the most beautiful countries in the world. And trust me, it is.
Definitely on my bucket list.
Yeah. And
we'll go together.
Yeah, you can. And we can go and talk to Mac.
There you go.
Grab your hat.
To grab my hat.
So basically, those early influences of having this kind of, it's not suburban or it's kind of exciting,
Yeah.
And also, I think we got a TV when I was 12, 2 channels, black and white. Not a big thing in our early life. So we were interested in nature, being at the river with the crocs or fishing, or we were also very much into music and literature because
Nice.
that
It's all
was
part of
everything.
life. Yeah.
My parents luckily were Dutch. They'd go abroad, we'd all go together. My mom loved music, so she would get samba, salsa,
Beautiful.
French music, Italian opera, everything.
Nice.
And then we'd take it home and we'd just be in heaven. And we were also very famous for our parties. Because,
Good. We like to
the
party.
music and then the parties.
We like to party.
And then, of course, at night, not much to do. So then reading and the sort of our whole family, I mean, to this day, they've always got a book.
Beautiful.
Always, before they go for sleep or whatever. And I would say the influences for me was because it was a British colony. Zimbabwe was Rhodesia. So the authors were more British, that influenced me. Then, I went more into maybe an African writing sort of passion, and then the Americans.
Well, it's very interesting, the sort of omnipresent nature in your life from early on, and that it's what you're drawn to in your work.
Yeah.
So clearly that early influence.
Yeah,
exists.
absolutely.
Yeah, I think it's connected. The exploration of beauty, and then coming from such a beautiful country, finding it again, even though it's a bit artificial in the modeling world, but then turning it around, going back again to the ocean. And I think the ocean is also so great in metaphors for love, for trauma,
Exactly.
for reflection. And this is universal,
It's
and it's
yeah.
also very intimate
Subjective.
and personal.
Yeah.
Do you understand? And it touches everyone in the world almost,
So you're-
because we've got ocean nearly everywhere in the world.
That's right.
So people love the ocean.
I think even for those who have never seen the sea, the symbology,
Yeah.
and the metaphor of the sea
That's right.
is so profound, and we're all drawn to it in some way. Certainly everyone in this room, we all have very close relationships to the sea. I
We
believe
sure-
as
that's
well.
why we
all-
live here.
are all here
That's why we
in
live here.
Miami.
Yeah.
Absolutely for me as well. So it's just interesting to use that as a vessel to communicate a message.
Yeah.
And you're definitely a woman of the world. And how do you see your collectors, people who purchase from you? Where are they from? Are they from all over the world?
All over the world. Like,
What do they see in your art? Like in their eyes, what do you see?
recently, this one piece called Odyssey, a French lady who lived in south of France said that exact piece reminded her of when her and her dad would go to the beach together, and that's how the sea looked.
Right.
So she had to have it because
Beautiful.
it was a memory of her and her dad being happy. So yeah, that was a very definite
Yes.
thing. But I get a lot of different reactions. Some people find it too
Everybody
wild.
loves the ocean. That's the thing.
Too wild, like, geez, can't you do like more like really zen and peaceful things? But I feel like Jackson Pollock, he's an action painter, and I'm an action photographer. I want to be one with the wave, in the whole beautiful, surroundings, and just swim and photograph, and
you just have too much fun with the waves and with the ocean, so that's great.
And just basically, it's also very therapeutic.
Yeah.
So while you're doing all this, everything disappears. You're just in your own zone, and you just become like a fish, swimming with.
And you go every morning, right?
Nearly every morning, yeah.
Beautiful.
I mean, for 4 years, I nearly went every morning. And then last year, I took off because I had to complete a job for a luxury condominium. But it's become now part of my routine. And now again, I've been so much happier shooting again.
Nice.
Because it's just so much fun. It's good fun.
It's interesting because I think in the way you're describing it is that the experience is twofold. Because there's the universality of the emotional response most of us as humans experience when we enter the water, when we're close to the sea, you smell the salt. But then to be in the creative process while you're already in that element, it's a more compound experience.
And I like some people to say, I feel like I'm just dipping my foot in with you. So I like to have that movement so that they feel they're there with me. And I like to share that with all my fans and collectors around the world.
The photograph that we're using for the invitation for the exhibition of Changing Tides, one of the reasons I personally was drawn to that and why we were going back and forth is I felt that I was in the sea.
Yeah.
I'm swimming far out.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm swimming really far out in that shot.
And I felt that I was far out. As
Yes.
if I was bobbing in the middle of the ocean, which
You
is
feel
both
immersed with the
thrilling
ocean,
and
yes.
exhilarating and terrifying.
Well, it's not so bad when it's low tide and you have the sandbank. But then, because then you can, from the sandbank, go out a bit more.
Right.
But sometimes,
Do you feel scared ever?
well, I get scared when some friends send me, look, there were 3 sharks in South Beach. Oh, God, a little boy just got his shoulder, bitten out. But I know they care about me and they're scared for me.
Right.
But not once I'm in and doing everything, I don't even think about all that. I think it's, again, something from Africa.
Right.
I'm sort of like, oh, well, it's just
Right.
other animals and I'll be fine and just keep going. But I was with Claudio once and he came with me one morning and I heard him say, shark.
Oh my God.
Really?
Yeah, and I was lying in the water and there they were and I was like, go.
Did you take a selfie? Did you take a selfie with it?
And I also had another great story where I was shooting a girl. I don't often shoot women, but if they really need, a shot for profile or something, I'll do it. And I was shooting her and she was looking gorgeous. And then I heard everyone behind me going, shark, shark, shark. And she's going, Angeline, what's going on? Is there a shark? And I'm like, no, just keep going. He's already swum by. It's gone. and she was like, oh, okay. And she kept posing. And then I saw them running there and I said, see, we're safe.
Slowly, Miamians are becoming like Aussies. We're becoming really used to it. And of course, they're much smaller here, so it's not.
And I think there's a lot of sand sharks and there's tarpon.
Yeah.
But I think it's only certain times that we will get,
the big ones.
the bigger ones that they come for a little swim past to go feeding somewhere.
And of course, the sea here is a different beast than the raging Pacific, for example, or like in South Africa. So it does feel a little less overwhelming or less daunting.
Can you imagine the waves in Australia?
Oh, God.
I'd probably be nervous,
I wonder if there is, when you're taking your photographs, do you have a direction before you begin in terms of the emotional result that you want to have in your work or that you would like to capture? Or do you feel that this is really subjective for the viewer?
Yeah, to be honest, it's so changeable every morning that I don't set an agenda. Because sometimes when I go on the left and look at the right, it's 2 completely different photographs. And so I really just go just immerse myself in what's happening on that morning. And then when I'm doing the editing, and that's quite hard.
Right.
Yes.
Because sometimes I take, 450, 500 photos. So when I'm editing, sometimes then I will say, look, if I get a little shiver or something.
Well, it's about the feelings and
Yeah.
the emotions
And
that
then
you
I
have,
get
yeah.
excited. Then I know I'm onto a good thing. And then I'm like, I think then that one goes to the side.
So when you're shooting, it's more visceral.
Yeah.
And when you're editing, you get to be a little more.
Yeah, I'm
in
experiencing
your head about
everything,
it.
and just I'm in this
So then you're more
beautiful-
focused, probably.
In the editing,
on
I'm
the
more
editing,
focused.
yeah.
Because I think that also you learn with modeling.
Yeah.
Because you see a lot of people editing and photoshopping and composition. You see photographers will say, well, Angie, just go to the side because now the sun is right there, and so that gives me this and this and this.
Right.
And so then I obviously learned a few tricks.
What about naming your art? At what stage does that happen? Do you know it once you see the waves, or
No, always happens at the end. Happens after the editing, and then then I'll look at the work that I've chosen and think what the title is going to be.
Nice.
And I mean, once I did a piece and I called it Stairway to Heaven, because the way I shot, I was such a low angle, and it was like this, and then just a tiny bit of sky. And it was so funny. I remember this lady saying, oh my God, and my mom just died, and when I saw that photograph, I felt so comforted. So everyone has something to say.
Of course.
Right.
They all have their own feelings when they see this ocean, whether it be pink or blue or green or wild or crazy.
And regardless of the title, but usually,
but
what
some
they
people,
feel
some
is
people
right.
do love the title. How do you get those
Yeah.
titles? And sometimes Claudia
They're
helps
great.
me.
They're
My
great.
husband does. He's quite good. He'll
Nice.
come up with some very peculiar things that I would never have thought of.
It's like nail polish colors, right?
Yeah, no, he
I
likes.
always look at it.
He likes to do it. He
Yeah.
likes to do it too. It's a fun thing to do together.
It is. It
Yeah.
is.
Well, it's also interesting because that's the relationship that you or any artist has with the viewer. Sometimes you never meet the viewer, you never know them, so your art really is the connection
Yeah.
that serves between them. And I think this is one of the interesting things about art or music is we reach across cultures, we reach across lots of boundaries and connect, often with people you'll never know.
Yeah.
And so I think that that's a really fascinating thing. So the title may, for example, drive part of the viewer's response.
It's true.
When I ask about the viewer, what you want to direct, or if you want to direct an emotion at all, I just think it's so fascinating that you, as an artist, get to have a relationship with someone you may never meet.
Yeah.
And the vessel is your work.
That's
Yeah.
right.
I remember another piece now called it Turbulent. And I remember this wonderful man was going through a divorce, and he just fell in love with it. Do you know what I mean? So, and I knew he was
He
going
found
through
his
the
next
divorce.
love.
And he was like, this is the one. I want to buy it. So, yeah, I think it's, because now with social media too, I probably have access now to LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook.
To the entire world.
So, yeah, and
That's it, yeah.
artist page. And so, it's a lot of people can watch. I think maybe 16,000.
So far reaching. It's
Yeah.
incredible.
So
And
Yes.
in real time, which
Yeah.
is also fascinating.
And people also like it. Like I can see if I post an old one, which I hardly ever do. Nobody likes it. They really also love it that they're doing this on a sort of morning trek with me. They want to wake up in the morning and see
And
what
see
I'm
it.
seeing, and me sharing.
You
that
become
beauty
part of
with
their
them.
lives.
Yeah,
That's it.
exactly. They want to be there with the beautiful, ocean and.
You make it very
clouds.
exciting, and
it's a gift for those of us who are landlocked.
Exactly.
Not us, but for those who are.
when you're
Well, yeah.
inspiring other people too. I mean, that's
Yeah, and also a lot of
that's a
people are
great thing.
sitting in their apartments, say in London, and it's grey every day. They
Yes.
probably love, bit of, beauty in their lives.
It's interesting how the role of an artist is evolving as a result of social media and the role of the nature of their relationships with viewers.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Yeah.
It's incredible. I mean, I've got so many people that I have never met, who are just fans from all over the world, always just, saying such wonderful things. And my mom's like, oh, how can you just say thank you to all these people? So exhausting. And I'm like, well, they spend time talking about my work and how wonderful it is. I can't just ignore them.
No.
So
and they become your friends. It's part of your life.
Yeah, it's nice. And some people I have met that I never knew. And now I know. They've come to see me in Miami. I'm coming through. Let's have a coffee.
Yeah. Beautiful.
So
that's so nice.
They should come to your opening.
I think
June 24th. Don't forget.
I think a lot of the friends will be here for sure.
That's wonderful.
And continuing.
We can't wait to meet them.
Yeah, and you know what I was so excited about the other day? Because you know how sometimes you just don't think about things. And I was thinking, and I have to do this and this and this. And then I said, oh, I don't have to. Sogol's there.
I know. We'll take care of it all for you.
It was just, I was like, oh my God, this is so great.
Right.
Because I did show at another gallery, but this gentleman was so shy and he just didn't talk to anyone. I was like,
don't you worry. We talk a lot.
I was like, God, Sogol's there, Murdock's there. Oh my God, I probably can just look fabulous, drink, and just tell everyone they look gorgeous. And just smile a lot and
we won't have any drinks that night, sorry. We'll just have our drink here today.
And I was thinking, geez, this is going to be a fantastic exhibition. I'll just be having so much fun.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it.
So yeah, suddenly I'd forgotten that you were here.
Especially, since the pandemic, this is going to be our first exhibit.
Yeah, no,
and we're very excited. It's going to be a beautiful reunion of everyone, pretty much. So it's a big party.
I know.
We're very, very excited about it.
Yeah, I think so too.
So you had your career as a model, and now you're an amazing photographer. And is there any other career that you're still dreaming of having one day, or
well, not dreaming to have, but another dream in Africa was to be the lead singer in a band.
There you go.
And my sisters and I always
You're going to sing
on
your exhibit night.
If I do a few shots of tequila, give me a mic.
Oh, yes. Exactly.
I know. We always
now you're pulling our arm here. So.
No, we always wanted to be in a band. And it that's another thing.
Beautiful.
Music.
Nice.
We have to hand you a microphone during the opening for a number.
That's
music,
great.
Literature, again.
Good, fantastic.
Another passion of mine that I'm absolutely obsessive about is film. Like I'll do a double bill of Woody Allen. And I know he's not very popular at the moment, but too bad. I still love his films. And so like on a Saturday afternoon, I'll say, Claudia, we have to do a double bill of Woody this afternoon. So, even film has always been in my life. I just absolutely love
It's
film.
still in the creative world, I would say. So
yeah, no, I've done short films.
I think that's the spell, right? Once you're creative, it's a spell in a way. It's a good spell to have because it's ongoing and there's really no end to it.
Yeah,
I also
and that's the thing. My grandmother's 108.
And what does she do?
She drinks once a day and she says, don't talk to any men over 60. But what I'm saying
I better meet her in Zimbabwe.
What I'm saying here is that I think I may still have quite a lot to go, a long time to go with my career.
Yes, absolutely.
Because, hopefully I have a couple of her genes.
Yeah.
So I can still see a lot of traveling and
transformations.
Transformations, experimenting, and
this is what this life is for.
Yeah, and maybe becoming more international.
Yeah, beautiful. Yeah,
and so that's what sort of the future.
The future.
But I'm really just going to be here now, live now, and be
focused
on having fun making the work.
There you
go.
Be in the present, but always know there's another chapter ahead.
Yes, of course. Yeah.
That's really great. Yeah. So I want to just rewind for a moment because earlier I love when you were referencing composition and when you were in the editing part of the process. One of the things I love about your photography is that, first of all, it's very diverse, but a lot of it feels very painterly to me. And I know we've talked about this and that you've heard that before.
Yeah.
But it brings to my mind a question of what are the components that matter most? Light, fracture. Fracture is a really fascinating component for me. Composition. So how important are those components to you, and how do they change when you're doing the more painterly style versus a more classic representation photography?
Well, this is very important, the light. To manage to catch those things all together, that's, the most exciting part. And it happens rarely to me, when the light and everything sort of aligns and you just get
Perfect shot.
And so that's always, the shot that I'm going for.
So through experience, you are aware.
I
that
know
those things are
sort of
lining
now
up.
with clouds and light and sun and how, how to get it. But everything has to be almost perfect to get that. But I have gotten a few, and I call them Turner. Those are my Turners, because he's also a great influence.
Nice.
The British painter, because he does a lot with light, but then he also does a lot of more violent things, work. But so that's what I go for, but I don't get it. Sometimes I sit there for 2 hours, nothing's happening.
Well, the storm season is coming up.
I know.
You'll have your fun.
I'm going to have a lot of fun.
Well, it leads to another thing that we've all discussed, which is it's interesting because as a model on one side, you receive a lot of direction from the
that's
photographer,
right.
so they're able to direct the subject to get a result that suits their vision.
Yeah.
But in your case, you don't really get to direct your subject.
No.
Because the sea is
It's directing you.
she is her own beast. And
Exactly.
you,
I have to be totally fluid
Yeah.
and just move and be in her, around her, and everywhere. And she bashes me. She fights me. I get landed on the beach, sand everywhere, because sometimes I just miscalculate. And then
one morning we should actually go watch her do this.
I think we
Like
should
without
do-
her knowing it, we'll be like paparazzi taking pictures of you. So which part is your favorite part of the beach?
I always shoot at exactly the same spot.
Always the same
where
spot?
the Betsy Hotel is.
Oh,
There's an alley there, and then I just walk straight
Make
to
a
there.
note here.
Exactly.
And then I'm sometimes, I usually have a band, because if I get thrown with a wave, then I still have the camera.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
Like a surfer. With
I've
a
been
board.
through about 5 cameras.
Oh, that was my next
wow.
question. How many cameras have you lost?
Sand in the cameras getting
Right.
bashed on. So so I've broken the Sony, the Nikon, the Olympus. Now I have a more expensive camera, so I have to be very careful with this one.
Wow, that's exciting.
Yeah.
But we'll come one morning.
We will. It'll be
Yeah.
easier for you. She's
Yeah.
a much more of a morning gal.
I am, yeah.
I'd love that, because you could take a short video of me doing my process. Claudia's taken a couple of pictures of me doing it,
Nice.
but he doesn't like to get up so early in the morning.
I'll come.
It
I'm
is
an early
it
bird.
is early.
Yeah.
It
When I
is
am
early.
up, I'm really glad. And it's my favorite thing to do when I get up early. It's just
Yeah.
the sea in the morning is so
It's something
spectacular.
different,
On
yeah.
the beach, no one's really come out. You really have it to yourself, and it's wonderful. But
That's
I have to overcome my night owl tendencies in order to get that more.
yeah.
But the
no, I
ocean has
understand.
been a little bit more rough these days. I haven't seen like a calm ocean for a while now.
No, I haven't either.
Yeah.
It's
I'm
been
missing that actually.
Yeah.
Because I like to swim in the morning.
yeah. No, it's been. We had a riptide just yesterday, I think,
Yeah.
and the day before riptide. Yesterday I had riptide, and it is a bit rough, at the moment, but it will change soon.
Yeah, of course.
It's one of the most magical things about living here is we live very close. We're really fortunate. We can
Yeah.
walk in a matter of a couple of minutes, all
Yeah.
of us, to this beautiful
That's right, yeah.
turquoise sea. But that being said, it's not always turquoise sea. Sometimes it's emerald. Sometimes it's
I
aqua.
love that.
Sometimes it's perfectly clear, like a Caribbean flag.
Oh my God, I know.
Sometimes it's very wavy and there's seaweed. Like
It's always
a surprise
changing.
every day.
Always
I know,
changing.
that's what I love, because I hate
Always
to be
changing.
Don't know
bored.
what you're gonna
Yeah.
get.
Yeah,
Exactly.
no, I love that.
Yeah.
And
That's the beauty of it,
and
really.
I also have to say, out of everywhere in the world that I could live, I would live here.
Right.
Why?
Because of all
Because
these
of
things that we discussed, the
Yeah.
ocean. I feel completely in my element here. I find it colorful and sexy, and there's always music playing,
Yes.
and there's always, a reason to go for margarita,
Right.
and friends always coming in. I find the lifestyle here extremely relaxed.
Me
I've got
too.
Lincoln Road there. I've got shops and coffee shops. Across the road is a cafe, Italian guy, Cafe de Mauro.
Oh, yeah.
Makes the best pizzas. I've got everything I want.
Yes.
All around me.
Good.
I think for all of us, it's a thing we love.
Yeah.
I know.
But
Yeah.
it's so diverse. It feels
Yes.
very sensual.
That's right.
It has such an international feeling.
Yeah.
And it's a really special place.
Yeah.
I think
It
it's
is.
a gift for all of us to get to live here.
We're very happy to be here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I really mean that. I mean, I couldn't be happier living here. Even my parents were like, oh, you can see you just love Miami.
And you weren't able to move your parents over here?
No, they love
happy.
Africa.
They love Africa.
They all think, oh, God.
But you spend a good time with them there too. That's
and,
wonderful.
And also, they're so used to third world.
Yeah.
They really like
It's
third
very
world.
different, yeah.
But I'm now totally first world. I've just lived here too long. I moved to New York in 1987.
And did you come from New York directly to Miami?
No,
How
from
did this
London.
journey go?
London,
Okay, New York, London.
Zimbabwe, Holland, London, New York,
LA.
No, New York, Bangkok,
Oh, yeah.
Ah,
That's right. You were
and
in
then LA, and then New York again, and then Miami.
It's nice to have all the chapters, though.
It is. I used to say Bangkok's my mistress, New York's my husband, and LA's my wife.
I love it. What is Miami to you?
I haven't figured it out yet.
Miami is wild. It's a wild child.
I don't know if I've experienced
She's
her
a
yet.
fickle creature, Miami.
I think she could be on the game. I don't know. I have to figure it out.
That's a very British expression I love on the game.
I think Miami will make you sing. That's your next stop to become a singer and play in the band.
Maybe you never know.
You never know.
We have a couple of questions that I like because they're from the famous Proust questionnaire.
Oh, yeah.
I always love them because I think it's interesting. We sort of step a little bit outside of the conversation about art and just think about more peripheral characteristics that are interesting.
Yes, I remember getting those.
Yeah, so one of the first ones is, what do you like in a person? What qualities do you like in a person?
Well, sense of humor is most important because laughing is, well...
It's essential.
Yeah, who doesn't want to have a good laugh? And so, yeah, I like my men and my women to, be able to have a lot of fun with them.
Right.
What do you dislike?
Dishonesty. Yeah, lying.
For sure.
That really gets on my nerves.
Yes. Being authentic is the best.
Yeah. I think, my background was very kind of authentic and being in the bush and running around with no shoes on and, we were all just,
You were just being yourself.
Yeah, just be yourself and just have, a nice time. And so
Purity.
sometimes,
Spirit,
it's been a bit rough. I would say probably the most challenging was in Los Angeles. I found driving
I was just there, yes.
the biggest pain.
Biggest pain.
And phoniness. Never met so many phony people. Phony baloney.
I always
But
heard
I
that
also
about
met great
Miami
people.
people, but
Huh?
I feel like, it can be anywhere, honestly.
It's
But
true. But in LA, everyone's like a poet or in a band or an actress or a model.
yeah.
It's really
like a
cliché,
stereotype,
but the cliché
yeah.
exists because it's
Oh, yeah.
true, right?
Yeah. I mean,
it's
here in
democratized,
Miami, a
right?
lot of people say they're in real estate. And they are.
Right.
Yeah.
But they may also be working in a bar or, doing some side hustle, driving an Uber.
I have a good friend in LA who says, "Oh, they're a MAW, M-A-W, model, actor, whatever."
Oh, yeah.
Because it's sort of the cliche response that
In New
everyone
York,
right.
everyone has to bloody be working full-time in a bloody gorgeous job because it's so expensive.
Or,
And it's
or when
like,
people would say, oh, I'm
hashtag
an
now.
actor, she would say, really? Which restaurant?
Exactly.
Which restaurant?
Exactly.
It's very funny.
But that's what makes the New York vibe also interesting too, because
Yeah.
of all these creative people who are,
New
in
York
the
is-
restaurant vibes, and
New
it's
York
something
is,
different.
yeah, absolutely. I would say
I
was
do miss
the
New
big
York.
love of my life.
Yeah,
But I've had it.
yeah,
When you've really,
sure.
had that big love affair with the city, I was ready to come to something new.
Mm-hmm.
And that's another thing I wanted to talk to you about. It was the colors here. When you arrive, everything is green and blue
Vibrant, yeah.
and white.
Mm-hmm.
And so I remember my first work, I could see that it was really strong.
Very strong
It was
colours.
very blue, very green, and white.
Mm-hmm.
But now, obviously, I'm going
Well,
into lots
But it's
and
always
lots of
tropical.
colors.
It's always
Yeah.
tropical,
different
yeah.
than New York as well.
Yeah. But I'm
When
sort
I
of-
first arrived from New York, that was the thing that hit me most, was the color and quality of light.
Mm.
Yeah.
And I love also, like you, have great love affair with the city. It's
Yeah.
full of incredible creative people.
Yeah.
It's really influential. But, the grays wear on you after
The
a
grays
while.
and browns,
Yeah.
winters as well.
The
of course.
cold.
The cold, I
Yeah.
know.
Well,
No,
our blood is definitely thinning
Yeah.
here.
My blood has turned to water.
No, Miami, I'm really in my element here. I really love
Nice.
I couldn't be happier right
Had
now.
you spent a lot of time visiting Miami prior to making
I
the move?
did, and if anyone had said, "Are you going to live in Miami Beach?" I'd say, "You're out of your mind," because I thought Miami was the place you go to Art Basel for 3 days, or you go for 3 days to the
To
beach,
party.
or you go to party, or you go with some friends and God knows go discoing and partying, and I never thought of it as a place to live. But then my cousin and a good friend said to me, you and Claudia could probably, we see you in Miami. And I said to Claudio, let's go to Miami. And he said, I don't want to go to Miami to die. And I said, we're going to Miami to live.
See, that's a positive person talking.
And then
Fantastic.
after a while I
love
said,
it.
so do you like it? And he goes, I love it.
Yeah.
And I swear to you,
Yes.
he loves it.
Great.
So,
And if
he
you
never
dig a little
swam.
deeper, there's more substance here.
There is, there really
and there
is,
some
yes.
soul here.
Course.
I remember when I first arrived 20 years ago, I had some friends visit. Well, there's no culture here. And I said, well, if you're looking for Anglo-European culture, it may not be the same as in another city, but there's plenty of culture here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's
Broaden
plenty.
your parameters, first of all. And Miami continues to grow and evolve.
Oh, yeah.
And there
now
are
we've
enough
got tech
professional
people
peoples here
coming.
too. Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
There's
So
plenty
definitely.
of great qualities,
Yeah.
I think. So,
Well, we're definitely Miami lovers here, right?
yeah.
Thank goodness.
I know.
Are we promoting Miami here today?
We've got to promote all the beautiful things in life,
I
right?
know. So you like to collaborate, it looks like it.
I love collaborating, but I love working alone.
Okay.
I'm very sociable and I love
Yes.
throwing parties, having parties and connecting people together,
Right.
making sure, that all works. I love being involved in the community.
I feel the same way. I mean, I'm a big time connector and collaborator, but when it comes to my interior design work, I like to focus on my work
Yeah.
myself.
Even Claudia, if he'll be like talking to me, I'll be like, you cannot talk to me. I'm working. And then shooting, I'm working alone. And if people talk to me, I get really irritated. Oh, hi, can you take a picture of us? No, I'm working.
Well, it doesn't look like working. That's the problem.
I know. They're like, look at her. She's just jumping
Same
around
thing,
in the
yeah.
waves. So, I like to do the work by myself. You can really focus there.
Yes.
No distraction. Yeah.
Good. The
I
details
think
need.
it's interesting because collaboration is a very interesting thing. Like I said, I think you're an incredible collaborator and networker and connector of people. But I do think that if you're a visionary, at some point your vision is singular. And so collaborating would dilute
Because
that
I feel like
somewhat,
details
right?
need a lot of attention. So
Yeah.
if you're distracted, then you can't put your focus and attention on little details, and
Yeah.
that's important.
And sometimes Claudia will say, oh, well, maybe this one not so good. Try this one. And then I'll really look a long time, and then I will decide no, he's wrong.
Yeah.
I'm right. and so I know in this, when
It's
I
just a
make the
different
work,
vision,
I
yeah.
have to just do what I want. You know, when I've finished everything, I've got to just be strong and brave, put it on, and just hope everyone loves me.
I'm curious if there's a place that you wanted to shoot and have not yet photographed.
Well, maybe Cape Town with the big waves. We discussed a little bit early on, I think Namibia, you know, Costa Rica. I hear is absolutely beautiful. So yeah, there are some places I would like to go with totally different waves. Because people say to me, "You don't have waves in Miami." I'm like, "Yeah, it's the angle I'm shooting it at."
And we do at times. It really does depend on the weather.
Yeah, sometimes we have bigger
Yeah, it
waves,
can get
but we're not
pretty rough.
But in Cape Town, they're
Right.
waves. Hawaii, waves.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know. There's a lot of men that go out with their GoPros and they love doing that whole wave thing.
Yeah.
It's not for me. I mean, also, you see it so much now.
Because I feel like you're looking for emotions. You're not really
Yeah.
looking for, you know, your work translates
I
into
do-
emotions. You know,
I
it's
do
more.
look and see what they're doing, and sometimes they may venture off a little bit, but it seems like they really go for the thrill of that, catching that wave in the sun in that light. But I don't know any women that do what I do. Do you?
I mean, in your work, you're definitely a unique person to do this, and that's why we loved having you here on board.
Thank
and
you.
It's very
Yeah, it's
exciting
just
for
that
us.
Someone just said, I think it was Joshua, our friend.
Joshua,
I
yes,
think he
yeah.
said, you know, I don't think any
We have
other
to
woman-
thank Joshua for this connection.
I know. Maybe we have to invite him.
I hope so.
Maybe he can come.
Well, hopefully he can come.
Yeah. But so, yeah, that's another
He
thing.
can do our makeup too.
Cut our hair and do our makeup. Poor guy. Oh, at work again.
That's right.
Well, it's
So-
been so incredible to have this time to get to know you a little better, to learn a little bit more about what drives your work and what your process is. And we're all very excited to feature Angeline Cesar and Changing Tides here at Platform.
Yeah,
The exhibition opening on June 24th.
that's
From
right.
6 to 10.
We'll run
6
through
to
summer,
10.
and we're
Yeah.
very, very thankful for the time you've taken today. We're all looking forward to the opening.
I've got a
Yes.
feeling it's going to be pretty sensational.
I think
I
so
just have a
too.
feeling. I don't know why. I just think that
We all go
it's
by
going
our-
to be special
yeah.
and exciting and fun and yeah. And
And the title feels fitting for the larger world, Changing Tides.
Yeah.
It does feel like we're slowly
It was the perfect timing, I
changing.
feel.
Yeah, just the world is starting to feel a little more familiar again.
And like you
Really
said
comforting.
earlier,
Thankfully.
we were
Yeah.
thinking, you know, this is going to be a very small, intimate event, exhibit, but I feel like, you know, now we can definitely
Blow
use
it
our
out,
garden
baby.
and indoor, and we're going to have a great time.
yeah, no, I think that's already what I've been getting. Feelings from friends in West Palm Beach.
Yes.
Feelings of friends in Palm Beach. Who've
are
now
traveling.
managed to have a little lunch at La Goulou. But now
Yeah.
they can, you know,
Of course.
all reconnect with me and
Yeah.
because people just, well, we were lucky in Miami, but a lot of people still weren't completely ready to connect and feel safe. But I think by the 24th, I think we're ready to
We're ready.
go, baby, go.
Let the
And,
waves ride.
And not only that,
We
I do
can-
feel the space we have here is interesting because we're not just a classic white box, as
Yeah.
a lot of galleries are. It's a very unique, intimate setting. We also have outdoor space, which is really
Yeah, I
interesting.
told.
And it feels
I told,
home,
I
you know,
told
it feels-
Basilio, our printer, who's a genius. I told him the whole setup, and he just loved it. I was saying, and then if you need a facial, you know, Mom's got the spa in the back.
And the
It was
fact that we
like-
get to exhibit work outside in nature is really
Yes.
fascinating.
Yeah.
I think it'll be really, really
Oh no, I
spectacular.
can't wait. I'll be counting the days.
Yeah, good.
So
Great.
thank you, Sogol
Of
and
course.
Murdock.
Our pleasure.
Had a nice chat.
Thank
Yes.
you, Angeline.
Let's
It's a
have
pleasure.
This was wonderful.
Glass of prosecco.
Cheers to
Yeah.
you
Cheers.
with our mango bellini.
Yummy.
Salud.
Salud.
Thank you for your time. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell to be notified of new episodes of Platform on the Go.